Live.
Alright, yes they are.
Hi. Okay, bye. Bye.
Okay, let's.
That's
I need to set
good.
this one up also.
That was mommy. Daddy, that was mommy?
Well, we're in the middle of recording a live session, so we'll have to call back. Yours is up and running?
Yes, it is.
It's kind of far.
It is kind of far. But what it'll have to do. What it do? Oh,
Can I zoom in?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Yaya. She's from Jitterflix. And Alex is on also.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey,
This
Genesis.
is too far away.
And
I'll bring a
Zuli.
chair.
No, it's okay. Yes, Genesis is on. Chelsea can see. Chelsea's watching. Guys, say hello to everyone. You just put that in front of the live. Okay.
They can see.
Hola.
You can
They
bring
can
that
see.
on the chair closer.
Oh.
Put it on the other chair. Bring it
Wait,
closer.
we were trying to do this on
Two formats, two platforms.
two different platforms, and it was much more challenging than we expected.
Alex Peña. Jitterflix is on.
Hey guys,
So what happens if I sit over here? Max, you're gonna have to
let me
make
see. Is
mine.
everyone in frame?
Not alive.
Not on the live?
Mateo, why don't you sit next to me, give Max some room to Dominique slide over? Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
Uh-oh.
Everybody slide
I don't know how
Mateo,
to make
come
this
with
so
me.
that we can see everyone. Maybe if I did this, can we see everyone
It's pointing
there?
at me. It's pointing at me.
All
Where are the
right.
questions,
Why
man?
don't you move the chair back that one?
Wait.
This one?
Yeah, because I'm gonna get everyone.
Now let's turn this down.
Yes.
Bach. Move Bach.
Max,
Is this better? Can you see everyone?
That's
A
fine,
little-
that's fine.
No,
You can't see me.
Just
but-
so
Randy.
the chair
Why
a
don't you
little
go
twist it a
landscape?
little.
This way?
Yeah, just a little.
That's
Why don't
it.
you go
That's
landscape?
it. That's good. That's good.
Because that's how it records.
Oh, see
Hi.
Huh?
See here?
All right, I'll sit here. Hey guys.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys.
So we were trying to do this on our laptop, and we've been struggling for like the last 45 minutes trying to figure this out. And our in-house tech
I gotta look at the questions.
couldn't get it.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
okay,
she's
okay.
gonna look at the questions as people.
Principal Randy trying to take my phone away.
So we're all gonna introduce ourselves just so that you can get our names straight. We'll start with.
I'm Max. I'm
Yeah,
13
we're
years
not.
old.
While we're doing our ages now too.
That's Max.
We don't need to say our ages. Okay.
My ages.
This is Max.
I'm Max.
I'm Madi.
Chelsea.
Speak up.
Speak up.
Chelsea.
Dominique. I'm Mateo.
And I'm Randy.
And we are Me, You, and the Blender Crew. All right, so I had made a few announcements on our Instagram, letting people know that we were going to be live, so that if you had any questions, you can submit them beforehand, so that we can make sure to get to them. Because I anticipated some technical difficulties,
Yes, we are.
so I just wanted to make sure to answer questions that you guys had, because we get questions almost every day, and they're
Every day. And we've done a couple videos already. We had a couple Q&As that were very successful. We were trying to get on a plane where we would have it once a month. And we felt like we were due.
Yeah, we were kind of due. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the questions. Bless you.
Bless you.
We're gonna start with the
All right,
questions.
do you know who they're from?
Yes, I'll say who they're from.
Okay.
Okay, our
Let's
first
go.
question is from Siri, official Siri.
Siri.
Yes.
Siri.
Siri.
Hi, Siri.
Okay, and her question is, how did you handle Chelsea's hair when she was a little girl? When she was little. So as you can see, Chelsea's got really natural puffy hair. So
She
does
also
Phoebe.
did her
No weaves.
Yeah, no, yeah.
No weaves.
And I do too, but I tame it for work.
I didn't hear
But the
her.
question was about Chelsea.
The question was about Chelsea, and so how did I handle her hair when she was a
Very
child? She was a very difficult child, and it was hard to get her hair done. She would fight, argue, bite, do whatever she had to get me off of her. And it wasn't that, her hair wasn't very coarse. It wasn't that difficult, but she was very tender. Her scalp was very tender, so she wouldn't let me do anything to her hair. Whenever I did anything, she'd pull the ribbons out and the berets out. So one summer, it was really hot. The AC was out. Chelsea was giving me a hard time. So I pretty much put her head between my knees and I'd cut it off. So for most of her childhood,
I look like a dyke.
no, Chelsea,
That's not
don't say that.
Oh, is this not a bad word?
Yeah, it's not a nice word, Chelsea. Out of everyone, you're the one that's gonna.
That's not a bad word.
Yeah, it's not appropriate.
It's inappropriate.
Oh.
We apologize. Chelsea looked like a little boy.
I'm sorry, Chelsea.
Okay, moving on.
Who's this question from?
This question is from Genesis.
Hi, Genesis.
Hi,
G
Genesis.
for the hi Genesis. Okay. I guess I'll direct that question to you. If you could choose a different career, what would it be?
I would absolutely be a movie star, and I would be James
Oh
Bond.
my god.
I would be James Bond. I love James Bond. My favorite characters, Sean Connery. I like Roger Moore, but Sean Connery is my number one James Bond. And if you ever needed a backup, they could call me anytime.
I thought you wanted to be Michael Jackson.
You want to be Michael
James Bond.
Jackson?
James Bond. James Bond.
For me, if I could choose another career, I would probably be a psychologist, I think.
You'd be psychic?
No.
Oh.
Well, that would be cool too.
Psychologist.
But probably a child
Help people
psychologist.
with mental
Help
illness.
Oh.
People with their mental issues. Okay, next question. This
Who's
one.
this from?
This one is from Lucero.
Hi,
Hi,
Lucero.
Lucero.
And this question is for Chelsea. How did you pick your major in college?
Okay, so when I first went to college, I was a biology major because I wanted to focus on the human body. But then I realized like I wanted to be specific with it after I took an abnormal psychology class, and I realized that I liked the mind and mental disabilities instead. So I focused more on that than biology because biology was too broad for me, and I also didn't really like my professors, and I realized that like with the psychology department and the classes I was taking, it fit more for me. So basically just taking different classes and seeing what I liked and what fit me personally best.
And crazy people
Yeah.
is the thing.
Yeah, crazy people fit her best.
Crazy
yeah.
people.
Okay, and so this question, I guess I'll direct to Dominique, Grandma Vicky, Dominique and Mateo.
Oh.
Grandma Vicky wants to know, do you have room for an extra grandma?
The cameras over there.
Yes,
The cameras over
yes, yes, we do. Yes,
Where,
we
where,
do.
where are you gonna put another grandma?
Where are we gonna put another grandma?
Right
The
there.
couch?
We're gonna put it right there.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
All
we got
right,
a
you
couch.
heard that, Grandma
We got a
Vicky.
couch, Grandma Vicky. We got a couch.
We'll get a blow
Or the bedroom. Or the
You
bedroom.
can take it with all of us.
No,
We
maybe
really
the
have room
bedroom.
for all of
We
us.
have a-
You're in there.
We have a couch. Yeah, the couch.
All right.
Nobody
Thanks for the
uses-
question.
Thank you. Grandma Vicky sent another question.
Oh.
And it this one's okay. Once a child of yours graduates high school, what is your expectation of that child for his future if he chooses not to go for a higher education?
Oh.
This is real interesting because Max and I have been having a conversation. Max wants to be a professional athlete, and he we were just discussing the fact that he wants to go to a boarding school in Florida, right? You want to talk about it?
Okay.
Speak up.
Yes.
IMG Academy is known for their football team. If you don't know what IMG Academy is, it's a academic boarding school, and they're known for their #1 high school football team in the nation. So yeah.
He wants to be a football player. I personally am afraid because football players get injured, and I firmly believe in education. I also believe that you should follow your heart and do what makes you happy. And not everyone is meant to get a higher education, but for my children, I would hope that that is the route that they take, and if not, that they have an alternate plan, like trade school or a career or just some type of ambition, not just I'm not going to go to school and then, wing it. I would like for them to have an education, and then after their education, if they want to wing it, they can wing it and explore, do whatever they want to do, but have that education because it'll come in handy in life in general. What
It's
about
a fallback.
It's a good fallback. What about you?
As far as my kids are concerned, we've never discussed not going to school. It's always been you're going to finish and get your degree, you're going to go to the next step of high school, and you're going to go to college, and after that, you're on your own. Whether you want to pursue another degree beyond that, a master's, or a professional degree, a law degree, or something, you can do that, or become a doctor, go to medical school. Those are options that I have planned for my
Or
kids.
like Dee Dee's gonna be a diva.
But
Right.
college,
She's gonna be in fifth
but
grade.
college, in my mind, college is automatic. There's no escape. College is a minimum in my mind, and that's what I'd like to see them fulfill. And I think that they're both on track for that. So I don't have any other plans, but
There's no
I
plan
like
B.
school.
You must
Yeah.
go to school.
I like
Yeah.
school. You
No
love
ifs,
learning.
ands,
Do
or
you like
buts
school?
about it.
I love school, and you
do
have
you
to,
like school?
yeah, and you have to learn so you
Do
can
you like school?
and just like do more things and learn more things, and like you can like get better and better at like numbers or like letters or something.
You need these skills to excel in life. Without these basic essentials, you won't. Although I do have issues with the school system and what they're teaching, but that's a whole nother subject right there.
Okay. On to. Okay. All right. This is a question that I think we can all give our opinion on, because as an adult I have an opinion, but as one of the kids, you have an opinion also.
Thank you.
This question is from Zuli.
Hey, Julie.
Hi, Zuli. When is it appropriate or the right time to introduce your new boyfriend or girlfriend to your kids?
I have a girlfriend.
You have a girlfriend? Oh, wait a second.
Oh, wait,
How many?
hold on, wait.
You
The real
have
question
kids?
is, the real question is, how many?
Two. Oh, wow.
Okay, so to answer the question,
I
you're
don't
gonna,
get that question.
you want me to answer
Okay,
that
so you
question?
know how your dad and I met first, and then he asked your permission
Yes.
to date me,
Yes.
and then eventually he introduced us, right? Okay.
Right.
And I had a conversation with my children, kind of got their take on things, got the thumbs up, and introduced.
Yeah, so as far as initial meeting, kids are not even in the equation. They can be discussed, but the primary thing is to figure out if the two of you have any red flags, have any, immediate stop buttons that just will not let you proceed. If you find in your questioning, in your interview, because this is where you're really digging deep, hard and fast. You're trying to get all those million questions answered before you introduce your kids, because once you introduce them, it's not too late to go back, but it's very difficult to backpedal and sidestep and move on to the next guy. So I reserve introducing the children to anybody that I am just dating. It's going to take a month, 2 months, 3 months of question answering to figure out if this is the right person or not. And once you get to that point, I was very confident in introducing the kids to Maribel and to
Maribel.
bring her into our lives, because it's not at that point I had decided this was not a short term, this was not a here today, gone tomorrow type of relationship. So once you have that in your mind and you're convinced, and as I said, there are no red flags, because red flags means this is not the time to introduce the kids. Any red flag, whether they're out of work or whether they have anger issues, or whether they don't relate well to kids or don't like kids, don't have kids. Those are all things that you really need to think hard about before you introduce kids into that equation. That's my 2 cents.
Your 2 cents.
That sounded more like 50 cents.
Big
Well,
But it's serious. It's serious
No,
business.
it's a serious question.
Bringing kids into the equation never fixes anything.
No, it complicates things. So here's how I feel about it. I feel that kids have a lot of influence in the decision making process. So, for instance, you may date someone for like a whole year and decide, I'm going to take my time in getting to know this person. But then you introduce them to your kids a year later, and your kids decide, I don't really like this person. And if it's for legitimate reasons, not just because I don't like the way he dresses or I don't like the color of his shoes or something like that. Like, for a legitimate reason, your child doesn't feel comfortable around this person, doesn't like this person, well, then that's a red flag.
not gonna
And
work.
you pretty much have to now evaluate, well, what do I do now? And I mean, children are important. They're going to be there all the time, every time. So this person, if the child isn't comfortable with this person and you can't make that work, then unfortunately the relationship isn't going to work. So because of that, I feel as you get older, and I'm talking about like not, you're young and you have all the time, you can meet all the timelines, a year to date, a year to get engaged, a year to, as you get older, you realize what are your wants, what are your needs, and your standards are higher. So you can be very selective. And once you select someone that you feel meets your qualifications, your standards, then you can pretty much make that determination early on. Because you know what? This person has to understand that you have children. Children are a part of you. And if this person can't tolerate your kids or your kids can't tolerate, then you've wasted time. And when you get older, you don't really have a lot of time to waste. So I feel like the earlier you introduce the person to your kids, the better. I mean, within a reasonable time, once you know it's good to introduce, and you don't have to introduce us. This is my boyfriend. This is my friend, and just see how that
Grow
goes.
from there.
And
Let
yes.
a relationship grow on its own.
Definitely, we're talking a minimum of, and you're dating what, love, once or twice a week. We're talking about at least 3 months minimum, 2 to 3 months minimum before it should even cross your mind, because you're still digging deep to get to know the person, and it can't be done in a week, it can't be done in 2 dates, it can't be done in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
This is going to take some time, because this potentially is your life partner, and you want to make sure you cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and make sure you ask the difficult questions.
But again,
Marty asked me some really off the wall questions.
I
when
ask
we
every
dated.
question you could possibly
Really
think. Like, do
bizarre
you have a
questions.
criminal record? Have you ever been arrested? Have you? Like, I asked about. I asked about experiences, things like that. Like, just whatever came to my head, I asked, because you never know. You don't ask it, you're not going to know, and that person's not going to disclose it if you don't ask.
Exactly. So it's good to ask a million questions. Not enough. Keep it going.
And if he doesn't want to answer it, keep it moving.
There you go. Hope that helps, Julie.
Okay. In a blended home, does every Zuli?
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Zuli again.
again.
In a blended home, does everyone have a set of responsibilities? What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yes?
What's your responsibility?
What's your responsibility?
Taking care of the hamsters.
There you go.
Well, she did feed them yesterday on her own, so that's a plus.
I just say taking care of our fish.
What fish?
What fish?
I fish at our mom's house.
Oh, one fish?
Okay.
Yes, one fish.
So it's a fish.
It's a
Fish.
fish.
A fish.
Okay.
I said fish, not
Um,
fish.
We're working on developing a regular list, but on a basic level, I think, keeping your room clean, cleaning up after yourselves in the kitchen, making your bed, those are the basics that we have in place. And some of the times it's kept to that.
Yeah, we don't, okay, because our schedule is that our kids, yeah, Max,
Something in my
what do you
throat.
think about the
Making their
responsibilities?
bed and washing their dishes when they're done with them.
Picking their clothes
Or
up off the bathroom floor.
Off the floor,
Max and
towels
Dee.
on the
Oh, no,
floor.
that one's not you, actually.
That was you.
That was me. So the way our schedule goes, the kids are staggered sometimes, and they're not here the full week.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
a
is,
big factor.
yeah. So it's kind of hard to have scheduled responsibilities because when they're here, we kind of want to enjoy them, and if it's just Randy and I, we keep everything under control, and by we I mean Randy.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that, Maddie. It's true.
Yes, it is
true. But yes, because we split the week and the kids are not here full time, it's easier to be a little bit more relaxed about rules and regulations. But, we keep the things like bedtime, we keep the things like, keeping clean and no food in the bedroom. We have basic
No
rules,
food
but
at
nothing
all.
crazy. No food ever in the bedrooms.
No food.
No food and drinks ever.
Ever.
That's a big factor. So
Who's that?
cleanliness. All right, next
Okay.
question.
Okay,
That's
this is
the
the last question that we got from
Are you getting any
Zuli.
questions?
Hi,
Hi,
Julie.
Hi, Zuli again.
Are you seeing any questions?
Okay, if you can change anything about your lives right now, what would it be? So each one of us is going to answer that question. And we're going to start by, who wants to start first? Mateo. Okay.
So if you could change anything.
If you could change anything about your life right now, what would it be?
Look over there. What would,
Like going on a ride.
What?
going on a ride.
Yes.
Going on a
What
ride.
kind
Can we
of
go
ride?
on more rides?
Can you elaborate? Can you tell more about that?
Like from Disney, there's like this ride with like there's a dog and
A Slinky Dog ride.
yeah,
in
a
Toy
Slinky
Story
Dog from
Land.
Toy Story in Disney. And you like to sit and it just goes around and around and
And,
around.
It's a
and you
roller
want to make that
coaster.
ride longer, or you want to bring the ride home?
I want to bring a ride home.
You want to bring the ride home. That's a great idea.
Not
Where would you
like
put it?
inside the house, but like if we had a backyard, then maybe we can maybe
Don't you have a backyard?
Okay, who else? Who's going to go next?
Dominique,
you?
No.
Me.
Yes.
if you could, what was the question? If you could change
you
anything?
If you can change anything about your lives right now, what would it be?
A ride.
Okay.
That's a difficult one. Can I pass so that I can
Sure.
think about it a little bit more?
Chelsea,
Anybody else
If you
ready?
could change anything, what would you change? The number of animals you have?
No.
You have animals besides Wally?
No.
They're all spread out.
Sit up.
You know, all my animals are spread out. If I could change anything about my life right
Speak up.
now, maybe it would be have someone else pay my bills. Because
A sugar daddy? You need a sugar daddy?
adulting is so hard. Maybe I would have. Yeah, that's what I need. I need someone to support me. I would no. If I could change anything right now,
Would you be
I would go
married?
back. I would go back to like 10 years old,
Do you want to be
And then what?
married?
where life was easier.
Do you want to be married?
No, because then
Just
they gotta depend on me or I gotta depend on them. I would go back to where I had someone paying for my food, my bills, my clothes.
So you're saying you don't want to grow up?
No.
No, but he wants to
Go
become.
back
But I
to
do
being a
want to
kid.
be 21.
Oh.
I want to be 21.
Max, if
In
you
a
could
real
change
life.
anything, what would you change?
Speak up.
Be 7 feet tall and be Duncan?
What would it be?
Probably in the environment.
Speak up.
The environment
The environment
You want to go in outer
live in.
space?
in which you live in, or the world?
The world.
You'd be in outer space?
No.
No, you would change the environment, and how would
Well,
you
like,
change that?
what's one thing you would want to change?
Like what one thing you would change?
You know about the clean water?
Our president, huh?
Or
What?
clean
water? Huh?
Peace.
Peace.
So
Oh.
Everybody would be friends,
Everybody would get
and we'd be high-fiving everybody.
Yeah.
We'd just walk around the world and just high-five
along.
everybody.
Yes. That would be awesome.
Like,
in
no
fact,
arguments.
no arguments.
No. No
Arguments.
littering. No.
Violence.
No violence.
Everything.
No killing.
Good
no
answer.
gangs. No good answer.
answer.
Peace.
Peace.
Sounds like Miss America.
Yeah, I know.
I want to
It's like
feed
a
all the hungry children. And I want peace in the world.
Okay, Chelsea answered already. Dee Dee.
If you could change anything, what would you do?
The stairs.
What?
The
I want to go
stairs.
to the escalators.
She wants to change
Oh,
the stairs. That's a
Lord.
good
So
one.
you want to be lazier.
All stairs
She
be
wants the
motorized.
stairs to be motorized.
Yes,
That's
I would like
lazy.
motorized
That's
stairs,
lazy.
and instead of having to go down the escalator, I would like a slide. A
Oh,
slide.
Lord.
That would be even
What
better.
if, like,
Alright.
If I could
you
change.
got a butt burn on the slide or something?
You would. You would.
Speak up. Nobody can hear
You would have
mumbling.
Okay.
like you would have like a rag to
Okay.
slide on.
Okay, like a potato sack.
I'll go.
If I could change one thing, I would love to have my children closer, all of them. I feel that I know you have to let them go. I know that they're going to spread their wings, and as a parent, you have to accept that. But if I'm going to speak honestly, I would want my kids close. I would want you in this state going to school right down the block. I would want you not wanting to go to IMG Academy and staying here. I would want Andy to be close. I would want my kids to be close. I would want to grow old right next to my children, with my grandchildren, and everything all up in their business. I want to be that. If I could change
No,
anything.
like grandchildren.
Max, you got kids?
Next.
You know, but one day when I do, I said I want to grow old with my children, and I want, but the way it looks, it's like my kids are gonna all be spread out. And so if I could change anything, in my life, that would be it. I would have my kids close.
Keep them close.
I want them close.
Uh,
I'm not paying her bills though, so she can go.
Only for
And
Christmas.
so, what would you?
The only thing that I would change, two things. One, rather than renting, I would be owning at this point in time. So I'd rather be investing in myself than giving someone else money. So that's one thing that I wish I could change right now, or I wish I had.
You speak really low too.
And the other thing is just an improved rapport with my ex. Other than that, that's it.
Okay. So Lisa asked the question.
Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Lisa Robinson.
What do you like most about your home?
It's
Oh,
cozy.
I love the space.
Well, Didi just said she thinks it's cozy, right?
I like that
very
thing where we
cozy.
draw.
Like I like the fireplace, and I like the.
I like the
fire stick. That's
I like the thing that we draw on.
These are the fire.
That's broken. And I like my room, and I like recording stuff.
What do you
But
like about your home?
It reminds me of Vermont. I don't know why, but it just does.
Fire,
Yeah.
The Vermont home?
it does too. Yeah.
Maybe the fireplace.
It does remind me of Mom.
I like that we have everything we need. We have a very efficient kitchen.
Yeah.
And like we have a projector that comes down from the ceiling. We have a fireplace, like everything that I could possibly want. I also always wanted to live in a brownstone, even though this is a limestone. It's still, it's
Cousin.
it's a cousin of the brownstone. So I love that about it.
I just love the 3 bedrooms and how we have just enough beds for everybody. We have 2 bunk beds in 2 different rooms, and so yeah, we have enough space for everybody to be here at one time. No qualms about it, and a couple couches. Although Granny's going to be taking one of them. One more couch. We got 1 couch left over. Somebody short.
The only thing though is that I wish there was more than one bathroom.
Oh well,
there's
yeah, but
only
we
one
may do.
bathroom.
And the reason that that's not a problem is because we don't have all the kids here generally all at one time.
This doesn't usually happen because
Yeah.
either one is doing one thing, another one has an activity. Like today, Didi had an audition today, so we have very active. It was short.
Yeah, it was like a short audition. I don't know what you had
It
to
was
do.
30
but-
seconds.
Yeah,
It was a 30-second audition, but Didi had an
That's
audition
what
today.
they all are.
But so the kids are always doing things, and they have their own little social calendars. So we're usually not all together here at once.
We have more questions,
Yeah.
guys. Please hit us up with some questions.
Oh, no, we have more questions.
Oh,
Yes.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. We need more
Okay.
questions.
How long did Randy and Marty date before marriage?
We're still dating. Still dating. That's the answer.
No, we're not. We're not
We're
married.
not married.
We're not married, and
When are you guys going to be married?
Although
good
we
question.
declare that
Wait,
on
he's
TV.
asking- He's asking you a
What? I
question.
didn't hear the question. Oh, so anyway,
When are you
what I was
guys
saying
going
was
to
that we're
get
still
married?
dating. Happily
He's
dating.
purposely not
Very
answering
happy.
the
Very
question.
happy.
I know, but it looks like stop it.
Let Mateo speak.
What was there?
What was the question?
When are you guys going to get married?
Oh, that's a great question. Would you care to answer that?
Like you and Daddy.
Yeah. Would you like to answer
So here's the thing. We were both married before, and unfortunately, that didn't work out for different reasons.
Why didn't it work out?
For
For different reasons. It's okay because people grow apart, and that's what happened. And so we both kind of are taking our time with that because, like I said, when it's later in life, we have our children. There's no biological clock ticking. We're not on any timeline. We're not on anything. We're really having a lot of fun. It's been years of fun, and I don't think that we need that to be a happy family.
To be any more happy than we are now.
Yeah, I don't know that that'll make it any better. I mean, it's not off the table. It's just something that we're just gonna take our time with, and if we do it, we'll do it one day. But who knows?
One day it'll just
One day.
pop up.
One day you're gonna get married.
One day, hopefully.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe. Who knows?
Okay, and another question from Lisa.
Hi,
Hi, Lisa, again.
Hi, Lisa again.
Who's the best chef in the household?
Right here.
Oh, wait, that's a no-brainer.
Let me answer this one. Let me answer this one. types, okay?
It's a no-brainer.
There's
It's
one.
right here.
No.
Mommy and Daddy.
Hold on.
No, mine
There's
is
two
different.
different types because Randy cooks from a cookbook, and my
Not
mom
necessarily.
cooks it out of her head. So like
And there's a lot of head here.
yeah, she has a big forehead, so you know it's a
It's
lot
a lot
in
of
there.
storage. I have a lot of storage space.
She has a lot
But
of memories.
Randy's good at following instructions
Yes,
and
yes.
looking at a recipe. He makes really good food
And
that
Why
way.
improvise?
I don't
I
remember.
love
Because you're
Randy's
right
in
here.
the
Where, but she cooks a
I
mean
want to sit
paneer,
here.
rice, and be like just random stuff. So catering, Randy's good. Comfort food,
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good
I'm not
assessment.
disputing it.
These are
Okay.
too much questions.
And
No, we need
No,
more
it's
questions.
not.
We need
We
more.
need
We need more. Dominique wants questions. Anybody has questions for the little gymnast? The little gymnast
Okay, no, wait,
model.
there's one more question before. What is everybody's favorite food?
Oh, one at a time. Mateo, you first. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is like maybe some macaroni and cheese.
Okay, next.
Yeah. No.
What's your favorite
I'm
food?
not ready yet. I gotta
The
think.
macaroni and
food.
I have a lot of
Pasta.
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 macaroni and cheese and
Okay.
pasta.
Chelsea.
chicken, fried chicken, fried
Right.
chicken.
I think if I could have anything, like if I were like, I think I would like king crab, like king crab.
What's your
Is that
favorite
a really
food?
like the really big crab, the meaty one with like when you can dip it in garlic butter. Oh,
Oh gosh.
Ah.
That's your favorite food.
He doesn't eat food. Trick
He doesn't
question.
eat, doesn't eat.
I see
Air,
you over
Candy.
air. Oh, candy, chocolate.
Chicken parmesan.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That's
eggplant
pretty
parm. My friend Helen makes the best eggplant parm, and that's one of my
there. You
favorite
didn't say
foods.
that before.
Eggplant.
Randy, what's your favorite food?
A nice, big, juicy steak.
Ooh, steak too.
He's Alex the
Yeah,
lion.
steak is
I
really
am
good.
like Alex the Lion.
He's
Everything
turned
looks like
into
little
Alex.
steaks.
Oh no.
Yes.
Go.
Okay. We got more
Okay.
questions.
No, we pretty much, I think, have answered all the questions.
Yeah, these
And-
lights are hot.
And it's gone for pretty long, so I think we're. Oh,
Oh.
Didi, what do you like best about being a gymnast?
Oh,
And Mateo's a
Wow.
soccer player. We got soccer
you get to
questions.
learn new tricks, and it's really fun.
The tricks.
Like
You can
actually
ask it
getting to actually doing what you've learned, showing off what you've learned, and proceeding to the next level. It's really, really fun and really cool to be like, I'm a new level,
Okay, no, but I have a question
and to
now.
get new
I
stuff.
have a question.
Speak up.
Who taught you how to do a back handspring?
You.
Yeah, I did. So she owes all this to me because
No,
I
I
taught.
don't.
Yes, everything you know now is because of me. Because
Okay.
everything moved to the
No.
best.
No.
I'm basically.
All right, we would
Didi.
argue for days about this.
Easily.
Anyway,
She's a
so
cheerleader.
I didn't get the question.
you want okay? What do you like best about being a soccer player?
Ooh, yeah.
That like we scored goals and stuff, and we like pass the ball
over
to
there.
each other, and we like just dribble and dribble and dribble the ball, and we just like try and pass, and we just try to like get around the other teams, and there's
Oh.
like a goalie too, and he
likes the
tried.
challenge.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
yeah, and there's like this goalie that we had to try scoring into, and you have your own goalie too. If my team scores into that goal, then we win. If the other team scores into our goal, then they win and we lose.
Oh, very good, Teo.
So he likes the challenge.
Yeah.
I like the challenge.
Yeah, and you
Oh,
won
wait.
some medals too
Yeah.
before, right?
Oh wait, Max has a question.
What do you like about being an interpreter?
What do I like? I know you asked me. What I like about being an interpreter. So for those that don't know, I'm a Spanish language interpreter in criminal court, and I think that one of the things that I like the most about my job is the ability to help people. I'm a child of immigrants, and I've been interpreting for my parents since I can remember. So it's very natural to me, and I understand how difficult it is for people that do not speak the language, that don't understand it, to try and navigate, especially the judicial system, which is very difficult, very complicated, and the language is difficult to understand for even an English-speaking person. So when a person is in that situation and they may have committed a crime or not, or may have done something knowingly or unknowingly, you know, the fact that I am there and I can help them understand is very redeeming for me. So it's a very fulfilling job, and that's what I enjoy the most, helping people, helping immigrants, helping my people, I feel. People like my parents.
Randy?
What?
What do you like about being a paramedic?
What do I like about being a paramedic? Well, absolutely, I enjoy helping people, saving lives. Working as a paramedic in New York City has given me so many amazing memories. Some sad, but a lot of really positive stuff. Delivering babies is one of my favorite things to do. I will take responsibility for 16 Ray Rays.
Really? 16
Yeah,
Ray Rays?
16 Ray Rays. Because my nickname starting in the field was Ray Ray, because I started working in the hood in Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights before it is what it is now, back when it was a lot more problematic.
When it was Biggie's Bed-Stuy.
When it was Biggie's Bed-Stuy. And back then, there were shootings in Staten. My nickname was Ray Ray, and so whenever I had an opportunity to deliver a baby, and we were successful, which was most of the time, I was Ray Ray, and so I take responsibility for a lot of the Ray Rays in Brooklyn.
All right, I think that's good for the Q&A, for our first Q&A.
Any more questions?
No, I think
The clock is ticking, the clock is ticking.
No, I think we're good. I think we're good with questions. These
You want more
lights
questions?
are-
Amy?
Yes.
How is it being a child model?
Oh, what is it like being a
Fun.
child model?
Well, the two of you. You go first.
It's kind of challenging because
You have to speak up.
it's kind of challenging when
After
you're
answer the question.
auditioning
We're
because
almost done.
there's a bunch of other people auditioning and you have to try and get the part. And if you do get the part, it's really exciting and fun because then you get to model different outfits and you get to do really fun stuff like that.
And sometimes you get free clothes.
Yes, and free food.
Oh yeah, free food. And you get makeup artists.
Yeah.
You get to
What
sit in
about-
a
And you get,
throne
like,
and they
about
do your
5 people
hair.
doing
And
your
they
hair.
put your makeup on and
What
they
about
do all
you?
kinds of fun stuff. And I'll
Did
tell
you-
you, what do
did
you
you
like
like
most about
modeling?
modeling? Mateo did some modeling. He just did some ads for Nordstrom. The both of them.
Nordstrom.
What did you like about it, Dale?
I like that we had to take pictures and we had to do some moves or something. And
Show me your signature move, the Spider-Man.
Oh,
Your favorite
Favorite
pose, the Spider.
Joe.
What's Spider-Man?
The one you did at the shoot that I took. Did you do like this, the Spider-Man?
Show me Spider-Man move. And what about your favorite dance move?
What is it? Yeah.
Oh wait, let's have Dale do the In My Feelings challenge while we're on live before we close out.
Music?
No, we don't have the
On my
music.
phone.
You want to do it on your music?
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay,
What
we're
about
gonna-
me? What about me?
Oh, okay, Max.
What? No. What about? What's it like being a student athlete?
Oh, sorry, you didn't ask him. What is it like to be a student athlete?
Oh yeah, and didn't your baseball team go undefeated?
Oh yeah, his baseball team went undefeated.
He's
this
going
time.
to be.
See,
Mystery.
we're apart from each other for a few days and we get forgetful and
Yes,
big things.
yes,
So
yes.
this is a great opportunity to remind us of all the amazing things that we all do independently of each other. So Max had a phenomenal baseball season. His team went
Mm-hmm.
undefeated. We got to see a couple of games and we're very proud of his success.
Yes.
So tell us how it makes you feel.
My school, we never had an undefeated record. So us making history was like a big milestone for our school. But yeah, that was baseball. I'd rather pursue the football, but it's hard being a student athlete because you can't play sports without keeping your grades up, which I'm kind of struggling with. But
They
yeah,
will knock you out, right?
if you fail 2 classes, you can't play. You're ineligible. So yeah, it's very hard.
So it's an incentive to keep good grades.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna
Music?
close this out
Ooh.
with
Oh,
the.
Dale's gonna do a little dance.
Wait, is he gonna do the challenge?
Oh, all y'all
What's
wanna do?
Can you play it?
No.
No. I don't know it. We're trying to figure. So just play something real quick. Careful, don't
All
step
right,
on it.
Dale, you ready?
Taylor has
You
to
ready?
get ready.
I've
Ready
been practicing.
What?
Ready? Ready?
What do I have to
For what?
do?
Jeff, we start with.
No. Okay. You know how to do it?
Jeff, come
Go,
here.
come on. Start dancing.
Go.
Go. Okay.
So you never leave.
Do the shoot. Hey.
Wait, let Max do it. Let Max do it. Go. Joining us on our lives. This is me, you, and the blended crew.
This was very fun.
This was fun, and we'll do it.
Bye.
Bye,
How do you
guys.
end it?
I'll go from behind and then.
How do you do it? Oh, okay.
Peace out, everybody.
Okay.
Can I exit?
Are you riding?
I'm still dancing. I'm still jamming.